My name's Thaddeus Hogarth. I'm on the guitar faculty here at Berklee in Boston. Now, I was just sort of gratuitously noodling around there, but I'm going to take a minute to talk about some of the concepts that go into making up a solo like that. As you could hear, there were a lot of bends that were happening. So I'm going to demonstrate for you just what I think is a pretty unique system for possibly integrating some of that stuff into your playing. And I'm going to start with a scale that everyone knows on guitar. It's one of the first scales you know. It's the Pentatonic Scale, and it's the one scale that just about every guitarist knows. It's really important to know all the positions of that scale, because when I start to talk about bending in a second, we're actually going to be taking the basic positions of that scale and pushing it into other areas, ostensibly creating new scales by fretting a note and pushing it up either a half step or a whole step to another note. So we have a fretted note and we have a target note. So you begin by, first of all, learning all of the positions of the scale. I'm going to play them really quickly because some of you might know them. That's the first position. And then we're back at the first position again. Now, if you take the flat 3 degree of that scale, that's basically the minor pentatonic, and we take the flat 3 degree, which in this case would be our B flat, and we bend it up a half step, real easy like this. Bend it up to a B natural. So actually, that we're creating there is a scale that can be useful over more of a dominant 7 kind of sound. So I'm going to play all positions of that, bending that note up to the 3rd degree, and this is what it sounds like. On the way back down, I'm going to approach it with a low chromatic. It starts to sound a little bit like you're soloing already, but you do that in all positions. That's not, of course, the only scale that you can use in that way that's based on the basic positions of the pentatonic. One of the popular ones that most guitarists know also too is the blues scale, which adds the flat 5 degree. In this case, we're going to actually bend to the flat 5 degree, so it makes a sort of a much silkier, smoother sound as we bend up to that blues note. And then you do that in all positions. So we start with the first one. And that again is useful over, you can use that actually over a sort of dominant 7 sound or minor bluesy sound. So those are 2 basic scales that you might want to try and incorporate into your playing, using that what I think is a pretty unique system of working with the basic positions of the pentatonic, becoming aware of where all of the degrees of the scale are. This is 1, that's flat 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's flat 7, and then we have the octave right here. Now, if you want to make your life even more complicated, what you can do is combine those 2 scales, and that actually really begins to start sounding interesting. And so we're going to make an attempt here to play both of those scales combined in all positions, and it sounds like this. So actually, if you combine those two scales, then you end up sounding like almost like you're soloing already. So those are some of the concepts I was using while I was doing that little random solo at the beginning. To learn more music this summer at Berklee, go to www.berklee.edu/summer.